Well, if you're looking for some local eateries in McLean County, there are plenty of options, especially in Uptown Normal.
That's where Sam Matheny takes us for this week's You
Gotta
Eat.
I found some flavors from the Windy City here in the Twin Cities. We're at Windy City Wieners and Normal for this week's You Gotta Eat.
Chicago is in the name, and Chicago-style food is the focus. After the 2008 recession, Stephen Marfurin bought this location in Normal in 2009. He was a recent college graduate with a finance degree, and he did it with the help of two business partners. One of those partners was Adam, who now owns Pizza Paya right across the street.
The three of us worked open to close 6-7 days a week. We lived above the restaurant in the apartment there. We were 22 and 23 years old. Just kind of learned, by doing it.
Let's get to the food. My first item I tried was a Maxwell Street Polish. Now, Stephen is loyal to Red Hot Chicago for his hot dogs and Polishes. That brand is now under Vienna Beef's umbrella. Their Polishes are unique because they're made with 100% beef. Its natural casing is another feature, known for having a signature snap. Mine came with mustard, grilled onions, and sport peppers. On a good week, they'll sell about 1,000 sausages. Next up, a Chicago staple, Italian beef. This came with a quarter pound of meat with green peppers on a Toronto roll. A good option if you're looking for something more filling than a Chicago-style hot dog. Finally, what the college kids say they are known for here, their fries. They have 7 different types. Now, I got the Euro cheese fry. It came with cheese sauce, Euro meat, tzatziki sauce, onion, tomato, and feta. Get this, every week they sell 1,500 pounds of fries between their Bloomington and their Normal locations. Last year they served about 80,000 pounds of potatoes, and I could see why. These were really good. The toppings were fresh, the fries were crispy on the outside, they were soft and flaky on the inside. Simple appetizers like this go over well with college students, with lines typically out the door on a Thursday and Friday night. Steven says providing simple and affordable meal options at both locations is the goal, especially in today's economy.
We all are kind of yearning for that community feeling again. And here in Windy City, you're going to come in, you're going to see people you know, you're going to see kids playing around. In Uptown Normal, a little different feel with the college students there in the evenings, but throughout the day, it's definitely family-centered with the museum across the street.
So if you're looking for affordable Chicago-style food, come to Normal and try Windy City Wieners, because
you gotta eat!
There you go. Their Bloomington spot is at 116 West Washington. In Normal, you can find them at 106 Beaufort Street. In Normal, they are open Sunday through Tuesday, 10:30 to 10. And we have all these times on our website. That is at 25newsnow.com.